Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and some stuff happened yesterday with Cody Rhodes. You know, Cody Rhodes, the man who never says anything negative about AEW, has finally been pushed to his limits because he said very slightly negative things. It wasn't all the way, it was slight negatives. He didn't say what he really wanted to say, but he alluded to it. He beat around the bush, as they say. So we're going to get into that. Also in the video, Tony Khan said something really fucking stupid about Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge. But we're going to start with Uncle Howdy. And Uncle Howdy is I don't know, because I feel like I want to see more of Bo Dallas than Uncle Howdy. Bo Dallas is very interesting, and that's a lie, I've not always been a fan of Bo Dallas. I've been a fan of Bo Dallas since the B-Team. The B-Team and then the Miztourage, and then after that I think he got released, I'm not sure. But I think what he's doing is good. He sold like a motherfucker when he got attacked by the Creed brothers. Oh my god. If anyone wants to say that this man's no selling in matches or something, I don't want him to see him no selling matches, obviously, if he's going to wrestle as Uncle Howdy. But he sold like a motherfucker. And we got lots of stuff. Not lots of stuff, but different stuff to what we've had the last 3 weeks, which is Chad Gable segment or match. Nikki Cross comes out with the smoke and the piano, and then she gives a taped commentary. Commentary play the tape, and it's Howdy talking to Bo, right? Now, I can't remember, for the life of me, how commentary got the tape this week, to be honest. I cannot fucking remember, so please let me know in the comments. It's been a busy week. But the tape this week was Eric Rowan. And the Eric Rowan tape, the interview or therapy session, whatever you want to call it, was very good. And we all expected it to be very good because Eric Rowan is someone who is the last remaining original Wyatt family member. Braun Strowman obviously in the Wyatt family, but was never an original. The original three, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. Bray and Luke are unfortunately no longer with us. Eric Rowan is the last one remaining, and he had a lot to say. He said that he lost a brother, and then when things were somewhat coming back to normal, he lost another brother, but Bo took him and made him whole again. And it was fucking fantastic. You saw raw, real emotion. And that's why these guys are babyfaces. Because you think a group like this would be heels. No, you can't be heels, man. They can't be heels. When you're doing shit like this, that's gonna babyface them up to fuck. Even if they're going around murdering people. They're sympathetic killers, is what they are. But back to the original segment, the end segment, should I say. Chad Gable comes out and he says, to the shock of all of us, that Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy. And, I mean, they made it pretty obvious. But Chad Gable was doing his inspector work, his detective work. And then he called Bo Dallas out. Bo Dallas comes out to the ring, attacked by the Creed brothers. As I said, sells like a motherfucker. And then the Wyatts come out to the piano music. Now, honestly, I don't want their entrance theme to be that one piano note. I get the characters, right? But that is not a wrestling entrance theme. And we discussed wrestling entrance themes yesterday. They should be using Shatter. They should, as much as I didn't want them to use that before they debuted, they should be using Shatter. They should. and they need to come out to that as a group. Bo by himself, I don't know what his theme would be. Maybe it's the old Uncle Howdy theme that they used back in 2022. We'll see. But it ended with Bo on the floor doing what Bray would do with the arms out and the laughing with the rest of them gathered round him. And hopefully now, over the next few weeks, we're going to get more therapy sessions with Cross. I don't know if Cross is going to get a therapy session, to be honest. But Gacy and Loomis, we're going to hear Dexter Loomis talk. That could be interesting. But even though it's still slow, it is better than what they've done for the past 3 weeks. Because the past 3 weeks has been exactly the fucking same shit. Right? Whether you want it to succeed or fail, you can acknowledge that 3 weeks in a row, they did exactly the same fucking thing. And I don't like that. So I like what they've done this week. Hopefully next week, they can do something also different and not copy what they've been doing over the last few weeks. Next, Tony Khan. Now, I don't know who interviewed him, nor do I care. Okay, I've just seen the transcript. But Tony Khan said that Adam Copeland is on the best run of his entire career in AEW. Now, you may think that that is a ludicrous fucking statement, and that's because it is. How can you say that Adam Copeland Edge, his run in AEW has been the best run of his entire career? How can you say that with a straight fucking face? How? Because even during the worst of Edge's career, right? Remember that feud with Kane, right? And he was kidnapping Paul Bearer for absolutely no fucking reason. That was better than what he's doing in AEW. And that was bad itself, okay? There's some really bad stuff Edge has done, and all of them are better than what he's doing, or what he's done in AEW, should I say, because, oh yeah, he's injured because they let a 50-year-old man jump from a cage who was supposed to do an elbow drop, but landed legs first instead because he realised mid-air, I fucked up. And you shouldn't have got to that point in the first place. Should have been told no. He was obviously told no in WWE a lot. That's why he left. He didn't leave for the money. He left for the creative freedom. And now that he's had that creative freedom, I'm sure he thinks, maybe it's good that I was told no. But there's no one in AEW to tell him no. Even when he comes back from his injury, there's still going to be no one there to tell him no. Okay? And wrestlers always need someone there to tell them no so they don't do stupid shit. And a lot of wrestlers who have been around for a long time can admit that. Because they think they're untouchable, they think they're unstoppable, and they do something a bit too silly and they get injured. It happens every fucking time. And it's happened with Edge. And for Tony Khan to say that he's been on the best run of his entire career is fucking absolutely asinine. Because how can you say that what he's done was better than the stuff he did with Cena? How can you say it's better than even the Vicky Guerrero shit? Excuse me. How can you say it's better? It isn't. It isn't. That is a fact. It's not an objective opinion. It's simply a fucking fact. Right? So for Tony to go around saying this is absolutely stupid. And I think Tony Khan is a lying piece of shit because that's exactly what he is. A lying piece of shit. I would not be, if I was Tony Khan, I would not be able to sit there with a straight face and say what he said. Because it's a fucking lie. And finally, the main event, and I've got another cough. Hopefully that's the last one. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was on, I think it was Insight with Chris Van Vliet. I get a little bit confused with Chris. I don't know if his insight is different to his interviews or it's the same. I'm not sure. Chris Van Vliet, however, I'm going to put him over right now, man. I'm not going to say he's the best, one of the best wrestling interviewers right now. And I say one of because, and I'm going completely fucking off topic here, so excuse me. You get Chris, who does really good interviews and gets really good information, but the information you get during a Chris Van Vliet interview is fun facts, right? Oh, Rey Mysterio did this. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. That's interesting. And then you get another interviewer named Ariel Helwani, who, from those interviews, you get juicy information. You get the gossip. That's what you get from Ariel's interviews. So I'd put them as two of the best in different categories. Chris gets the fun fact information, and Ariel gets the juicy information. However, during this this Cody Rhodes interview with Chris Van Vliet, Chris did get a little bit of information, and that little bit of information was Cody has somewhat admitted that AEW was never a long-term thing for him. He basically used AEW as a way to reinvent himself and get his character right, his music right, so he could go back to the WWE and he can tell people how his character is instead of people telling him how his character is. And I get that. I completely fucking understand. He made similarities to Hulk Hogan in the NWA. He basically controlled his character and so on when he made his jump to the WWF. That's what Cody did. But he still doesn't want to say anything about AEW negatively as a company. However, he did acknowledge the fact that they're not bringing in big enough crowds, that they're pushing away a mainstream audience. And the big thing that came from this was, he said that in the Young Bucks book, they said that he was the last to sign the contract to make AEW official, right? And he said that that is correct, but it's not how they made it look, okay? He was all in on AEW. He just happened to be the last person to sign it. Whereas they made it look like that he was not all in on it, so that fans could turn against him. And obviously there's a lot of stuff that happened with Brandy that we don't know about. Some people cry racism. I say no. I doubt it's that whatsoever. I can imagine it's something else. And I can imagine that both parties are at fault, because Brandy did seem to be the sort of person that wanted to be on TV when she didn't necessarily belong on TV. So I can imagine that there's a lot of fault for both parties. However, Cody Rhodes is on top of the fucking mountain. He's not just on top of the mountain for some shitty indie companies. He's on top of the biggest wrestling company of all time. While the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega are down here on the floor, all the way down there, not being able to sell fucking 3,000 tickets to Dynamite in Collision, not being able to break 700k in the ratings, because Cody Rhodes obviously had a different mindset to the rest of them. They wanted to be indie, Cody didn't, and that's understandable. You don't want to be fucking indie, because indie doesn't work. It works in your GCWs, right? Where you get about 50 people in the building and they do big gay brunch where they basically suck on dildos and basically mimic molesting each other. I'm not fucking shitting you. That is exactly what they've done in GCW, and that's why I call them the worst wrestling promotion of all time, worse than AEW. But Cody Rhodes finally admits that AEW was never a long-term thing for him. He finally admits that there was some drama between him and other people. He just didn't specify on that. And I think one day he will specify on that. Because even though his interview was somewhat mild, there's going to be pushback from AEW. You're going to get some fucking idiot come out on Dynamite, probably MJF, even though he's a heel now, and say, AEW is where the best wrestle. Because that's what they do, because they're a bunch of fucking idiots. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's also some collision stuff going around about the ticket sales, but I'm not covering that because the building they've hired is small, so the ticket sales are going to be small. But the fact that they didn't sell out that small building is also concerning. But that's my thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts on the Uncle Howdy stuff. What did you think to Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, and the Wyatt's this week? Tony Khan, what do you think to his comments about Edge? Because I think his comments about Edge are fucking ridiculous. And what is your take on the Cody Rhodes interview? I will leave a link to the Chris Van Vliet interview in the description, but you've probably seen it anyway, and my endorsement means fuck all to a big channel like Chris's. But that's it for today. Like, subscribe, follow me on X at the Crossman25. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.